Good afternoon, Shakka. How you doing?
What's going on? I'm very well. How you doing, bro?
I'm blessed. Always. You know what I mean? Can't complain. Let me start by saying thank you, my friend.
Oh, wow.
Let me start by saying thank you.
Okay. What do I owe the thanks?
The album. You know, I've had it on loop. I'm lucky. One of the people that gets to listen to it before people get to listen to it. And I mean, I don't want to give away how you ended, but I wanted to start like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good.
It makes perfect sense. We're here
Shakka,
now. Okay.
Yeah, we are. You back. You're there now. You back. You're back.
Same wave, gang.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Good. On Dominica
I like
time,
the way you did that.
as usual. Listen, at last, mate. You know, at last, I wrote the headline for the piece that went out for the Voice newspaper, and I said, "At last." You know, Shakka's album is here. Your fans know what it means to you, but in your own words, man, talk us through how much you've poured into Road Trip to Venus.
How much have I poured into Road Trip to Venus, mate? Oh man, I posted on my Instagram. I said it took since my last project, it's been 5 years, but it took 10 years of me being in the industry. I've been through 3 major label record deals. I've had therapy, and then I just found a team of people who rode with me, you know, who were my quarterbacks for the entirety of this whole journey to get to this point. This is like a war cry to my demons, you know, like it's very easy to, what's the word? It's very easy to find a way to do a half-assed attempt, to do something that's just like kind of okay, to not go the extra mile, to not dig deep into some scary emotions or some scary places that you might need to go to. But like, I feel like this album has just many different parts for me. And yeah, I'm just happy that we, by hook or by crook, found a way to get it to the point that it is in today. You know, I haven't been prouder of any body of work that I've ever made in my entire life. And I'm just happy that if I can objectively say so, I don't even know if I can because I'm biased and I'm looking at this from my own lens, but like, I don't think there's anything else that sounds like this right now. And it took a while for us to get it to this point. So yeah, but thank you for the sentiments, because I tell my fans and my supporters all the time, it's genuinely words and phrases like that keep me in the studio, you know. I have self-belief. I have faith in myself. I always feel like I'm a bad man, but like across the board, in order to get it to a point where I can connect with other people and it's not just about me, like it needs to be like a conversation between people. So I appreciate it, definitely.
No, it's my pleasure. I mean, from the first, you know, interlude, skit, call them what you like, it's clear that you know what I mean, you're not, one of the things that jumps out for me is that you're not scared about embracing the unconventional. Nothing's formulaic on this, you know, and I felt like you presented as many facets of your musical talents as a one could appreciate without overloading the recipient, i.e. me and all the listeners. When you had that final listen, Shakka, in its entirety, and you said, you know, yeah, this is it. What was it? What did this in its whole encompass for you that represented the end of the process?
So that's a sick question. So I took a drive and I played it from top to bottom, and I called it Road Trip to Venus because, well, one of the reasons why I called it Road Trip to Venus is because it definitely felt like the perfect accompaniment to a road trip. It definitely felt like as the scenery changes, so does the mood of the album. Naturally, you'd expect most people to say that because that's what most albums do. It's kind of like a compilation, but there isn't one song that's like another song on the album. None of the songs are similar, nor in the same context or vein. So just like you're traveling, you could always see different sceneries, you know, or different cities or places. But yeah, I did a road trip, and afterwards I cried for a while, and it started over again. It was just left on loop, and I was like, okay, let's do this again. Let's listen to it, and I did, and yeah, the same thing happened, and it was because I had flashbacks of when I was in LA or in New York, and I'm by myself. There's no team with me. There's no other guy with me, and I've just come back with a session of someone that I've never met before, first time meeting them, and the demo that we made doesn't sound that great, and you know, all kinds of self-doubt like can easily just seep into your mind at moments like that, you know, especially when you're in the space where the album isn't finished, and at that time we may not know who's putting it out. Like there's all kinds of questions, you know. So now I'm in a space where it's mixed, it's mastered. We have creative direction by the genius, none other than Ray Fiasco. And yeah, man, it just felt like, you know, like the Street Fighter game when you're in the last level and you're fighting them bison, and you do like the last Hadouken to like finish the whole. Like it's the end of the game, and you've been working towards this for a very long time. Like you're meant to be doing your homework, you're meant to be doing all kinds of stuff. Like it felt like that to all of my demons, or to anybody who said it wasn't even possible to get to this point. But yeah, we're here now, you know. Sorry for the speech and the essay, but that's
no.
genuinely...
I really want that insight. I mean, there's a few things you've touched on that they're not going over my head. I'm gonna revisit them. Don't worry. I just want to get through the music, because everything about Don't Mind Waiting really let me know that you thought this album through. How long have you been writing? I mean, obviously I've read on the press release and stuff like that, all of this. But how long have you been from oldest track to the most recent that got included? How long have you been writing this?
Hunting was done in 2014.
Wow.
I think Take a Chance was like 2016. So Hunting sounds pretty much exactly how it's exactly how it sounded before, bar and mix and like maybe changing some samples here and there. Take a Chance was 2016. I did that with Crowder. I think at the time we wanted to have it on the Island EP, but the team told us that it was too many tracks for the EP. And we like the Island was essentially meant to be like a continuation from the Lost Boys skits and all that kind of stuff. And again, the team suggested, like the skits are cool and everything, but like we're trying to sell this EP and we can only do it if it makes it easy for people to listen to it. So like we had the full version of the Island on SoundCloud as opposed to on DSPs where people can listen to it, like Spotify and Apple Music. But yeah, in answer to your question about 2014.
Vocally, right? There's a range you sit in that really suits you, you know. And I'm listening to it. I mean, talk about finding that pocket, the years of refinement, learning, and knowing oneself. I mean, Hold Me Back for me demonstrates what I'm talking about best, I think. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be able to know notes or anything like that. I'm no musician, like aficionado like you guys.
No, I fully understand. I fully get where you're coming from. I feel like Miles Davis said it took 10 or 15 years for him to learn how to play like himself. And my interpretation of that is that he has many different influences, just like all of us do. And in our minds, we're like, I want to sound like this guy, I want to sound like this girl, or I want to produce like that person. And we essentially become a mixture, a cacophony of all of those people, right? And I feel like over time, I've kind of been thinking less and less about trying to think about hybrids of songs and more about just trying to figure out who I am and what the best me sounds like. And then the other thing is when I go on stage, I want to be able to perform it effortlessly. Like I've seen these things where a lot of vocalists who have balance will perform the song like maybe 2 keys down so that they can execute it best. Excuse me. And I feel like that's sick. At the same time, I know what it's like to go to a concert live and hear the dream that I heard in my head as part of the original album that I was listening to before. And so in my mind, I'm like, I just want to make sure that whenever I'm writing this, it's just going to be a piece of piss to sing on stage. Do you know what I mean? And so with that comes understanding warm-ups. It comes with studying other albums. Like I studied a lot of Ty Dolla $ign. I studied a lot of Marvin Gaye, a lot of Michael Jackson. I listened to a lot of Black's albums, and a lot of other R&B artists. And I noticed that a lot of them murmur or they just whisper into the mic in order to, and they still get the same effect of a song. And so when I did Hold Me Back, I wasn't thinking about, oh, how can I show them how sick and how high my voice can go or how powerful I can sing. With me, it was just like, how can I capture that emotion? Like, how do I make this the soundtrack to lovemaking? Like, how do I knock off the biggest slow jam off the charts? Do you know what I mean? That was my concern. Like, I wanted to be the soundtrack for that. So yeah, I feel like Hold Me Back was, I guess, a representation of all of those things. Me just trying to satisfy an emotion more so than trying to flex and show off anything, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. It does. No, I totally understand. Pipe Dream. There are a few skits, interludes. That one made me rewind and take in again what you said. So then it got me thinking about why you included it. So obviously it's obvious what it's about, but can you embellish on what your thought process was in including it on the album?
Yeah. I'd gone through a breakup and it wasn't great. I mean, when I say the breakup wasn't great, naturally every breakup wasn't great. And so when I say this, it's purely because of the fact that it was incredible when we were together. Do you know what I mean? So naturally separating from something that is dope is a bit trash. And the song was essentially, or rather the interlude was just me trying to illustrate something that I feel like a lot of people go through, where they've either met their ex again or they've reconvened again, and a flood of memories just come back, you know, and those memories are a multitude of different memories. Like if the relationship was great more so than it was bad, then chances are you're going to remember the great stuff more so than the bad stuff. And in that moment, you're like, raw, like, surely we could do this again, or why did we even stop this, you know? And this was a snapshot of one aspect of love, one aspect of my heart. And all of these songs are essentially many different facets of love. Hence why I've called it Road Trip to Venus for, another reason why I've called it Road Trip to Venus, because in my mind, it's trying to go to the source, or borrowing off the age-old folklore that says men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Therefore, the travel to Venus implies that I'm going to go to a planet where, or rather go to the source of where women come from in order to try and understand love better, or to try and understand my form of love better. And this was just a slice or a stop on that journey, you know. I played it to a few friends. A lot of the man don't connect with it. If I'm honest.
I was gonna say. I mean, I get it. And I mean, I just wanted to hear it from your point of view. It was more. It was more of that's. Yeah, you've gone introspective there. That's quite deep, right? And you've put it out there as well, which means you're at peace with it.
It's one of the ones where I also felt like the sorry to cut you.
No, like cool.
I just feel like we talk about it, we do, but we don't at the same time. Like, I don't think a lot of the friends that I have, a lot of friends that I know, I'm fortunate enough to have friends that are very emotionally articulate, but then some of them aren't, you know, and they have strengths in other parts of their facet, but in this particular area, it's kind of difficult for them to be able to say, I miss my ex, or difficult for them to say, why did this happen? Because more time, they kind of just want to be like, later, man, I can move on with that. I'm that guy, you know what I mean? Like, it's the mere concept of expressing this form of a weakness or vulnerability within oneself is lost amongst a lot of people that I know. And so I've always seen that I just like talking about it. And people have told me that I have a skill of being able to encapsulate what they're feeling. So hopefully, you know, this sentiment is something that rings true with a lot of other people. So far it has, anyway.
If that's the reasoning for that, then what about help for what? Sorry, I don't want to give away too much here, but
it's all good. It's all good. Bear with me though.
The thought was the nod to the Dominican influences, and I guess you've explained the road trip to Venus and what the essence is. So I guess that's part of that bigger picture. But
Yes.
Talk about including it, because every Dominican son has heard something similar coming at them.
Of course. Help for what means so much to me. I think the weird thing as to why it still has such an effect on me is the fact that I wrote it, yet it doesn't feel like I have. It felt like Tamisha, who's my cousin, who was the voice actor for this, it felt like she made it for me, because she owned it and took ownership of that performance and said, all right, cool, here's what we're going to do with this thing. It's, again, and that interlude is a war cry to my demons, you know, that this is essentially me saying, just have more faith in yourself, you know. It's very easy. Yeah, it's very easy to stay in your feelings and lose focus of the objective. And then it was definitely intended to be a salute to Dominican culture. It had to have been in that accent. It couldn't have been in any other one. Like in my mind, I'm like, the New York accent wasn't the official mother tongue of the British language, yet the rest of the world exactly understands every word and every facet of it. Why is it not possible for us to be able to do it in any other broken version of the English language? Do you know what I mean? And the Dominican sound cool, so it just made sense. But Help for What was important for me because it's just a pep talk from the gods, you know. Just stay focused. Just stay focused, stay focused, stay focused. And also understand your point of difference with everybody else, because I guess everybody battles with it. Like, we're not like this guy, or we're not the same as that person, or we don't fit in with this particular group or this clique or this box. And subconsciously, it will play on our minds, you know. There's this feeling of FOMO, fear of missing out, where you're not, like, I don't know, you didn't get an invite to this, or even further back than that, as a young'un, like, people might not rate you based on the fact that you may not like this music, or that you're not an athlete, or whichever else it is. Everyone has felt like they're outcasted from some particular community. And I guess the importance of me having that interlude in this accent was to show to myself and also to the rest of the world that who we are is who we are, and we can't run away from who we are, no matter how much we try to, you know, shape, or, you know, it's okay to evolve at all times, but the core of who we are, or the DNA, always comes from that one place, and it's something that we shouldn't forget. If anything, it's something that we should embrace as a superpower, you know. But yeah, that's I guess the sentiment of that interlude. Yeah.
You touched on it a couple of times. Demons, therapy was mentioned earlier at the top of this, and I remember our last interview, I asked you what success looks like. And you had probably one of the most interesting answers I've received. I ask that question quite often.
Okay.
I even actually reposted it on my Instagram the other day, because this is before I even knew I was going to interview you on this project here,
Sure.
because the answer really resonated with me, and it was literally just to stay sane, right? So these demons that you've touched on a couple of times, and the therapy that you had to go through in the last since your last project, I guess. Talk about them, if you, insofar as so much as you want to share. How have you evolved, and how has that helped you to become the man that I'm sitting before now?
That's a good question. I try to get therapy as periodically as I can, because I guess we all have seasons in our life. We all have periods in our life. It could be argued that COVID was one season in everybody's lives, you know, and as such, we need to find a way to navigate what isolation looks like in all of our lives, because not everybody deals well with isolation. Some people aren't isolated. Some people had found themselves in a household that they may live in that's inhabited by lots of different people for a variety of different reasons, you know. So that time period was challenging, but I guess therapy is very important to me. There's nothing better than having someone who's unbiased, who's never met you from anywhere, but who has years of experience of psychology and understanding of the mind, and is able to essentially help you rationalize whatever thought process you might have based on whatever trauma or whatever issue existed in your life. And with that, there's a sense of a sense of safety, and also a sense of reassurance that with the change of perspective, so like not alcohol, not drugs, not a holiday, not a blowout in Harvey Nicks, like perspective, bro, like that can change everything. It can change your health, it can change, because they're all connected. Like if you're not right here, then you start to breathe improperly, like you may not get enough sleep, that leads into fatigue, into other things, and I need to be on my A game as with everywhere I go. You know, I can't jump on interviews with Joe with The Voice and flex and be like, yeah, like I'm the greatest musician that I am, if I'm not right here and I'm not right here. Like it doesn't equate. You know, it's impossible for me to, at least, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's definitely a lot more challenging for me to perform, you know. So yeah, therapy is everything. And then here's the other thing, man. Like we're doing this thing independent, and we've worked with many different labels, and the blessing of working with a label is the idea that, or rather the fact that you have an army of people who are able to help you with many different things that you might need help with. And the army that we have right now is considerably smaller than the previous teams we worked with. And so there's just a lot to do. And with that comes a lack of time to be able to put into the things that you care about. And this could include nephews' birthdays, or a funeral of a loved one from your school, you know, like, or a wedding. It doesn't matter what it is. There's always going to be something that you may not be able to be present for physically or emotionally or mentally as much as you would like to be. And that takes a toll on your body and your mind and your soul after a while. And you're still expected to, from the supporters, perform at 100%, 200%, 300%. The album drops September 24th. Oh, that was trash. No, but I was going through some other stuff. We don't care, bro. We just want a sick album, fam. Like, I don't want to hear all that noise. And so, like, it's important for us, ourselves as humans, behind the scenes, to be able to clock out for a sec and unpack. Because if we don't, like, it will manifest itself in other ways. And I've seen it happen to a lot of different people, you know? So yeah, therapy is important. And it's also important to admit if you have pain or if you have trauma, because if you don't and you pretend like it doesn't exist, like, then you can't possibly have an understanding of where you are and who you are, because your perception of yourself is altered. You're only seeing a piece of it, you know? So yeah, it's integral. Therapy, meditation, working out, drinking tea, like, you know, I definitely have my moments where I hit a rare nephew, but like I say, if I'm on an interview with The Voice, I need to have some herbals with me, you know. So
I hear you, man.
yeah.
You got to stay on point. So then the battle against the demons, you're winning.
Yeah, I am. It's mad. Even saying this right now, like, it feels good, man, because there's just a lot of things that I've just rationalized in my head. Like, it's very easy to see a musician that you admire, as an example, and see a song that they've dropped and be like, oh, that's sick, and this is sick, and that is sick. When you close that window, a window of your old video might come up, or your current project that you're working on might come up, or the treatment for your next video might come up. That's like a split-second comparison between a finished product and a draft. Do you know what I mean? And so, like, that in itself is a demon on your shoulder saying, bruv, look at what you're doing, bruv. It's nowhere near as sick as what you're currently, bruv, just scrap it. It's dead. It's a dead idea, you know? That in itself is a self-defeating demon that needs to be vanquished. You need to be able to have the thought in your head, pre-prepared, that says, bruv, let's not do this whole comparison thing. Like, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not who someone else is today. That's someone that, that's a phrase that I've read and seen many a time, and then also many life books that I've read, you know, and it's a rule and a law that I try to abide by in order to just like stay focused on the task at hand and who I am. But I'm definitely winning with these demons, man. I think I can say that, and I know there will be more, but it is what it is, man. Roll with the punches.
Well, no, that's good. You're in an ascendancy, in a positive place now. That's the main thing. I guess the last couple of questions I have for you. I mean, you really seem to exhale on this project. You really seem to get it out there. So performing, you must be looking forward to performing these soon-to-be hits and classics, my friend.
Yeah. I am. It's like one or two of these songs on the album I've definitely like secretly performed before. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people might ask me, yo, where's Hunting, or where's like Take a Chance, or whatever else. You know what I mean? But like
definitely
way,
understand why people are asking for Hunting. Sorry.
Yeah. Bless you, sir. I actually played a sneak peek of that on my stories. Hopefully I get some good feedback from that.
You played a sneak peek of that and Take a Chance as well. I saw you, but you know, it's all
I did. No, I mean, do you know what it is? Because I know that it's like I say, the last project that I released was 2016. That's 5 years ago from now. And fair enough, I definitely have been releasing music in the interim, but at the same time, in terms of a full-length project to show who I am like right now as a story, like people don't know, you know what I mean? So it's these snippets and these sneak previews are just to let people know that it's not a gas. Like, this isn't a Kanye thing where I'm just hiring out a stereo and pretending to have an album and then just delaying the release date. Like this is in existence. It exists. You know, it was important for me to let them know. But yeah, I am itching to play these songs live because there's just like a lot of jams and vibes. Take It There in particular is really special to me. A lot of them are special to me, to be honest. I could go through them, but we don't have enough time.
I'll be honest, I don't mind. I mean, I'll tell you my quick. I'll rule off my. I'm only just if we got to cut it. I know the PR's in the background. She'll let me know with a note in
I'm
in
good.
the chat box.
I really
You're
don't
good,
mind.
yeah. All right, as long as
I'm good. We can do this. We can
from
do
the
this.
front.
Bro,
from the front,
go on.
Right? My list, right, was Solo.
Okay, sick.
Right,
sick.
So I like Solo. Don't Mind Waiting.
Sick.
Scuba Deep.
Sick.
Love Scuba Deep. Love Scuba Deep. Temptation. Sick. Take a Chance.
Sick.
Hunting. And When You Grow Up. And I mean, look.
Wow.
It's a bit of me. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a bit of me. So if it's a bit of me,
what was the I'm eager to know the passion behind, I guess, all of the favorites that you had. Like Take a Chance and When You Grow Up.
Take a Chance is just tempo. Yeah, go on, say yeah.
No. I know what I wrote, but yeah.
Yeah, for me, Take a Chance it's just that's that tempo, innit? That's everything like you want, like the breaks, everything. Like you see you're fully free in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't, and that's what I meant by when I said earlier, it isn't formulaic. There's nothing on there like Take a Chance for me anyway. I think that just stands, but it doesn't sit too far apart from the whole project. That's what I meant when I said you presented so many facets of who you are musically without overloading. I didn't feel like I just felt satisfied when I got through the process, which is, I guess, what you want. I felt satisfied and I felt like, there was some real classics on there that I liked for different reasons. I asked about the skits because, the way it flows into Scuba Deep, right?
Yes.
Right. So that's why I asked, because it was like, okay, I get the skit, flows into Scuba Deep. It's just sitting nice. Yes. And then the tempo changes again for Temptation a little bit later, because you can be proud. For me, just as a normal punter, I'm not no one special, just somebody who loves music,
Bless you, man. Bless you, man.
Done,
and you are, man, definitely, because it being a conduit to the people, especially for an outlet and a horn that many people listen to when it sounds, do you know what I mean? Like it's important to have I guess people like yourself on not necessarily on side, but someone who's able to connect and understand to some degree, like what we're trying to achieve with this. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the set list, in terms of the order, like my manager kind of helps out a lot with that one, because initially there were some songs in different places. Naturally, as a muso, you want to just be like, like I don't know, like We Are Not the Same needs to start this album, or this song needs to do this, or that song needs to do that, and it's our concern a lot of the times is about energy management, and also like and I guess the challenge with this one in particular, and it's just like you said, like there's many different types of songs. And so there's also a desire to want to be able to give the same, or it's not a similar satisfaction that people have had with previous projects, by way of sound, by way of subject matter, all that kind of stuff. So it is a challenging game. But yeah, the feedback is sincerely appreciated, man. Trust me.
No, all good, man. Keep going. I mean, listen, before we wrap, is there anything else you want to let people? I foolishly want to ask you what's your favorite track. I'm gonna, you might as well go on.
It varies all the time, man. It varies all the time, right? Like it Take a Chance came back up there because of the response that I had when I shared it. It's a toss between Hunting and Take It There.
Right.
Take It There. I haven't felt relaxed on a song like this since Say Nada, in honesty. And then in terms of the I could geek out on the chords, I can geek out on the drum pattern and stuff, but it just feels like an undeniable. It just feels like a thing to bend your waist to be honest. And it I feel like I really distilled, writing wise and also vibe wise, like that energy. And then Hunting just feels like movie scoring for me. It was like a lot more about creating an adventure that people had never heard or felt before, as opposed to trying to create a banger. That one took a while to make. Cynthia Erivo did BVs on that one as well.
Who's on Scuba Deep? Sorry, who sings that? Because I didn't.
Oh, of course, that would be Tiana Major 9.
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
Tiana Major 9.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
She needs nothing in order to help her write stuff like this. Like there's no writer. There's no I need this oil or this water or is the mic like just walk in and listen to the vibe and
she's definitely got something about her. She's special, I think.
She's the truth, man. She's the truth, and she's in a good space. She's with a good team. Right as well. Shout out to Casa Progression. Like, there's a. I'm excited for the album, to be honest. But yeah, as a writer, she clashes a lot of singers in the game, in honesty. So yeah, I'm so fortunate to have her on this project. And it was also important for me to collaborate with another R&B artist because I hadn't collaborated with an R&B artist like this before. Right. And I hadn't written or dug into R&B like this. I'm rambling, I know, so forgive me.
No, because it's leading me, and because I'm gonna. And again, another question I wasn't gonna ask you, but is there anybody else moving forward R&B wise, or anything else actually that you want to kind of collaborate with?
Sure. I've been wanting to write a song with Ari Lennox for a few years now. There's another. There's a few other people. I'd really like to do some stuff with K-Tronada, with Gorillas. I need to holler at Sims and see if she's down. She may have a new number now because that last album was very monumental.
Moved the needle, definitely.
It really did. From artistic direction to her ability to be able to distill sentiments a lot more so than before. Like it just feels like a huge evolution across the board, and it's quite inspiring to see it. There's a lot of people. Angel, I need to get in with. I definitely need to get in with Angel. We've been.
I saw the fun. I see the fun and games online. I mean, it'd be great.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
of course. I feel like it's when you have so much faith in your own catalog, it's impossible for you not to be like, listen, like when it comes to this thing, like this, I have no question in my mind as to what would happen in a clash like that. Do you know what I mean? But by and large, my concern is about the culture, in honesty. That's why I say we need to get in, because we've known each other for years. He had been featured on his debut album with in 2012, 2013, you know, so you know the energy and the love is always there. But yeah, man, there's tons, man. I could go on. I could really go on.
Well, I'm excited for the next project if if that's the case, because I'm sure you'll probably bring to life a lot of those collaborations. Listen, my friend, it's been a pleasure catching up again. The
Thank
album
you.
took too long. I'm sure you knew that, but better late than never. You know what I
Bless
mean?
you, sir.
We've got some music that will hopefully, in fact, not hopefully, I think this music's going to last us the test of time.
Definitely.
So if it took a while to get here, at least it lasts the test of time. So yeah, I
I hope
appreciate
so,
it.
man. I sincerely hope so. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for your kind words. It's my aim is just to make sure that more people who look like me and sound like me, who don't necessarily fit into a particular box, can find a way and find an avenue and be like, okay, cool. Here's one blueprint. Maybe I can take this baton and run with it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who came before me, before this particular album. And so I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, just trying to have someone else stand on mine, if I could even call myself that, you know? So yeah, man, it's a great milestone, and I'm sincerely happy that you guys are here to share it with us, for sure.